Hello guys and welcome back to No One Knows TCG channel. I'm coming back to you with a deck that I played over this weekend at a League Cup at the Game Academy, and it's a deck off kind of what last week's deck was. It's Espeon, as you can tell by the title, Espeon Wobbuffet, where my last week deck was Umbreon Espeon. This one's a little more concentrated just to make it more consistent. We had 5 rounds. I went 2 and 3, but that was mainly because this is the first draft of the deck, and I decided that I needed something to play, so this is what I was going to play. And it wasn't that big of a tournament, so I wasn't fretting over losing. While playing it, there are some changes you can make. A lot of it is it might need maybe a couple of lilies or something, just because for my first game, I basically didn't get a single supporter, but for the rest of them, they're all pretty close if I didn't win. The cards weren't in my favor, that's all. So let's start this deck list off. 4 EVs. It's the Energy Evolution from Sun and Moon. So basically we can get turn 1 Espeon out, which is very nice. If you're going second, you can confuse them straight away. So it's just beautiful. And I actually did confuse a lot of people just because it's either they didn't attack at all or they had tried to attack, and a lot of them got tails, and it really made me hit my numbers I liked. Next, 1 Vaporeon, they add the Volcanion matchup. Unfortunately, I didn't really scope out to see if there's any Volcanion, or I probably would have taken this out for another Crushing Hammer, which I play in the deck. But it's there for Vaporeon. It's there for Volcanion. Next, 1 Flareon. Decidueye Vileplume, such a big deck. You're probably going to play this no matter what. In mine, there were 3 of them, I believe, and I went against one. I ended up losing, but it was a very close game. Where basically I used my Wob for a lot of knockouts, which is basically how you have to play the matchup most of the time. Is you have to use the Wob, so that way they can't feather arrow you. Next, 1 Jolteon, Mega Ray, just text. Next we have 3 Espeons. That's the main attacker in the deck. Its first attack is Psychic, 60 plus, its first attack Side Beam, but its main attack is Psychic. For 1 Psychic and 2 Enemies, does 60 plus 30 more for each energy attached to the defending Pokemon, which is just very nice. It's a lot of damage because most Pokemon need at least 3 energies to attack. So with just 3 energies alone, you're hitting 150. Then if you're hitting for weakness, which this deck's very good at hitting, it's just 300 damage outputted right there. It's a one-shot. Next, 2 Wobs, so you can start against Mega Ray, and it's for the Vileplume Decidueye matchup, like I said earlier. Very nice. Here, we'll move this to the center. 1 Tauros. It's just a nice tech to have in any deck, no matter what you're playing. As long as you're playing DC, it's normally a one of tech. Very nice. It makes people second guess themselves if they want to really attack it. Another key card in the Decidueye matchup, just because most of the time they won't be getting one-shots on the Tauros, so it's like, do you want me to get attacked, and then I can rage and just put basically as much damage as you did to me there, plus some. Another very nice thing. 1 Shaman, very nice. I didn't use it a lot, so it was just something that I could say, oh, I need it right now. Ultra Ball. It wasn't prized once while playing the deck, which was just amazing considering it's a one-of, and it wasn't ever prized. Which, I mean, if you think about it, the odds were in my favor of it not being prized, but most of the time, if you play a one-of tech, it's normally prized if you need it. So there's the Pokemon lineup. I like the deck while we're doing this. I really did enjoy the deck. It just had a couple of just slow starts, which was my problem with it. Next, 4 Professor Sycamores, tech in every deck, discard your hand, draw 7. Next, another tech card, N, shuffle your hand in, you get to draw as many cards as you have remaining prize cards. Another key tech in most decks. 2 Lysandre, which before the metagame with Vileplume was in, people would only play one because they could just VS Secret as a guaranteed. But with Vileplume being in the format, you kind of have to play two. Next, one Hex Maniac. Another thing, Vileplume Decidueye is big. Anything with abilities, you really want to make sure you have a Hex for the in-case moment. Then a Team Flare Grunt. Again, this deck was tech, so basically it'd have good matchups across the board. Team Flare Grunt can get rid of the special energy on the active without having to use Crushing Hammer or Enhanced Hammer chances. Next, for Ultra Ball, just a techie card. Really helps you get your Pokemon out, considering none of these, except for the evolutions with the abilities, are searchable with Level Ball. You wouldn't really play that. And Nest Ball is just too slow when you have evolution lines. Next, we have, hold on, 4 VS Seekers, another really big tech card that you kind of just want to play for getting your supporter out. Even though Vileplume's big, you could downgrade this to 3, but 4 is just a really nice number because there's a lot more Turtwig in my area now since it's been doing really well. 4 Trainer's Mail so you can make sure you get set up really easily starting off. Another big tech card for the metagame right now. Next we have 2 Crushing Hammers. I very enjoy, I think is the way you'd say it. I enjoy playing very weird decks. That's my specialty, I feel like. I love playing like decks that could just mess people up and they really couldn't do anything. And that's my play style, making it so my opponent can't do anything. I mean, you would say, but why don't you play Decidueye Vileplume? I don't like Decidueye. I don't like the idea of chipping. I've never been a person to really chip in Pokemon. It's not how my mindset. It's set and one hit KO you and then you can't do anything for the rest of the game, basically. Next, 2 Enhanced Hammers. Love the card. It's because there's so much special energy going around right now with double dragons, and I went against a Mega Scizor and it came down really close. Unfortunately I lost just because of the energy denial, and his deck's a lot more stronger considering it's also part of an attack. But it was key. He played 4 shield, and with everything going on with resistance with Espeon and stuff like that, I couldn't let the reduction of shield energy affect me, so I would enhance that off instantly just because it was not something I wanted him to keep on. Next, 1 Super Rod so you can get your Espeons and your Eevees and your Psychic Energies back, just things that you'll need to move the game along. Next, 3 Floatstones because you always want to make sure you have something active with a Floatstone once your Pokemon are knocked up, like Wobbuffet or a Shaman or something. So we do play 3 of. 2 Assault Vests, because once again, we're really key on just making sure they can't get the knockouts. It's a very, you can hit me, but you won't be knocking me out first. I'll be knocking you out, because you have to attach energy at some point. Next, 3 Parallel City. It messed up my opponent against Mega Scizor so hard. I'm trying to get the glare off this card. Here, we'll move it over there. There you go. You can see it better. It messed my opponent up when I played against Mega Scizor because they only had 1 Scizor on the bench. And the second I did that, they're like, okay, because they had Shaman active, a Shaman on the bench, a Hoop, and a Scizor. That's all they had. I'm like, sweet, this is going to make it a lot easier on me because if I didn't do this, the game for me would have been over a whole lot quicker. Now, you could change this out for Faded Town if you wanted to, but it's just something you wouldn't do. It's a lot easier to play Parallel for the Mega Ray matchup and stuff than it is to play Faded Town. Unless you're lucky, like one of my friends who play this deck. He played Faded Town in his list instead of Parallel, and he got a Parallel City down that stayed for 11 turns, knocking out a Mega Ray all by itself. And I'm like, that's just the height of being lucky. If you can keep a Faded Town on there for 11 turns, you might as well say, let me go play some poker or something. Not saying that you should. It's just like that luck was so amazing. I'm like, why can't I have that luck? Next, we have energies. Next, we have 7 psychic energies. It's the thing that gets you the Espeons really easily with energy evolution, and it's just something that if they say, hey, I won't discard the DC because you need a psychic energy to attack, you're like, well, I play 7, so it doesn't really matter. You can keep doing that all you want, and it's nice for the 1 attack retreat cost Pokemon like Shaman and Espeon, which is just nice. And then 4 DCs because everything in the deck needs a DC to attack. Everything but Wob. But I mean, Wob you just attach 2 Psychics and then you're good. But I mean, Espeon needs it. Tauros needs it. If you want to attack a Shaman, you can. It's just, you play it, you need it. So, thank you guys for watching this video. I so hope you enjoyed. Give me some funky decks in the comments that I could play and then showcase to you my list, because I do have different lists than most people. Like this list done all by myself. Most lists I take off the internet and basically modify to my playstyle. So do that, guys. You can go down there, comment funky deck ideas. Hit that like button, please, if you enjoyed, and the subscribe button if you'd like to see more content, which I'm hoping can start coming out weekly for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a nice day, and goodbye.